Right, finding 30% of 280. Well, the first thing we're going to do is to find 10%. And we do that by dividing the number by 10. So dividing 280 by 10 will give us 28. To explain that fully, here's hundreds, tens and units. Here's 280. The best way I think of describing this is that each of those numbers becomes 10 times less powerful. So the hundreds, the 200s now becomes 20, and the 80 becomes just an 8. The numbers all move down one space, and that's where the 0. Don't think of it as taking the 0 off, think of the numbers moving down. So I've got 28 is 10%, so then to get 30%, I'm going to times this by 3, and mathematically the way to do that, imagine it's 30, that would be 90, and then take 3 lots of 2 off, which is 6, so it goes 84. Second question, we want 70%. There's lots of different ways of doing this. A really important figure, first of all, to work out is your 10%. So we do that by dividing by 10, which gives us 45. Now I could do 7 lots of that, which would work fine. Another thing I could do is work out 50%. 50% I get by half in the original number, so that gives me 225. And if I want 70%, well, I could add on 2 10% to this. So 45 and 45, and that'll give me my 70%. So 5, 5 and 5 is 15, 4, 4, 2 is 10 plus the 1 is 11, so then that gives me 315. Another couple of examples here. So 60%, you'll notice now that the 0 has gone on this one, so from before when I was describing it as 286 this time, I'm finding 10%, and I do that by dividing by 10, so let's have a look what happens. Well, the 200 becomes 20, the 80 becomes 8, and then our next value is the tenths, so instead of 6 units we've got 6 tenths, so I've got 28.6 here. 50% would be really useful to work out here, so my 50%, well, that's half of that number, so that's 43, and then I'm going to add these two together, and you notice I've written them in column in column lines, or line them up. So I'll put my 0 in there, so I get a 6, that'll give me 11, that's 7, and that's 1, so I've got 171.6. And then we've got the last one, slight variance on the 10%, but I just thought it'd be good to start with this. So 10% is going to be 45. 5% then is exactly half of 10%, so I'm going to be half in here my value, so half in this will then give me half of 40 is 20, half of 5 is 2.5, so I get 22.5, and I want 35%, so I'm going to work out 30% here, and the way I do that is take 10% and times that by 3, sorry, because I want 3 10%. So that then is 40 times 3 is 120, and 5 times 3 is 15, so I get 135. And then I want to finish off to get 35%, I want to add up these two. So 35% will be 135, and I'm going to add 22.5 to that. So put my point in there. So we get 5, 7, 5 and a 1. So I get 157.5.